Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the weekly show we have here with Giraffe Neck Mark and myself. Got a lot to talk about.
Busy week.
Let's start off with your Metropolitans. You
Yeah.
just informed me. I heard about it, but you have now informed me. I guess, like I told you before the show started, it kind of went over my head. It didn't really register on my brain cells there. But we got the Mets. We got a staff member and a player testing positive. Talk more about it.
Yeah. So yesterday seemed around mid-afternoon. I think John Heyman put out a tweet about that a Mets player and a staff member tested positive for COVID and that the game was going to be postponed. And that, Friday's game today, of course, will be postponed against the Yankees. It's looking like we're probably not going to play this weekend at all to begin with anyway, because some of the players stayed in Miami. Some of them came home to New York. Very confusing. Super concerning situation. Obviously, you don't want anybody to have coronavirus, and now that it's affecting the Mets, it's even more concerning to me. So, it's weird. It's weird. We know very little information. No, it seems like no rumors or anything have come out about who got it or how they got it. So there's a lot to be, I guess, said in the next 24 hours probably.
Yeah, I mean, I know our protocol says you don't have to release the name. It's up to the player. Obviously you get rumors about it, and they end up getting put on like the injured list, but with no diagnosis of an injury. So we'll end up finding out. It's pretty ridiculous, but so I guess we'll end up finding out. You're definitely not. I assume you know why you're playing on the weekend, but it might be a blessing not having to play the Yankees right now. But,
that might be good.
However, I will say my good friend Jared Carrabis tweeted it out the other day. The Yankees, who just lost the first place lead in the AL East.
Yep.
And are 9-8 against teams that are not named the Red Sox.
I think they actually might even be 9-9 now because they lost yesterday. So
they lost yesterday. Yeah,
they're a 500 team if you're not playing the Red Sox.
Yeah, and the Red Sox are the worst team in baseball. So.
Yeah, I've been telling that to my Yankee friends too. Like, you guys are 500 if you're not playing the Red Sox. So
seriously, and that says a lot.
Yes.
And especially in the AL East, and the Rays are a good team. I think you picked them to win the AL East this year, didn't you?
I did, and I got a lot of heat for it, being like, oh, the Rays. I'm like, what you guys don't understand is, I'm not saying the Yankees are bad. It's just the Rays are when you look at like how a team is built, how a team is made, they're a very, very well-made team. Yes, they may not have Aaron Judge on the offensive side, but they've got a ridiculous rotation, unbelievable bullpen, and the guys that they play in their positions, they play the matchups well. So that's hard to pick against that team when you really break it down.
Yeah, I mean, Glasnow, who's we all know is good. I played with him in Pittsburgh. Actually, I played with him and Garrett in Pittsburgh at the same time. And Glasnow went toe-to-toe with him the other day and beat him.
Yeah, no, his stuff's electric.
Ridiculous. It was always the issue in Pittsburgh that, at least that I thought, was the control. There was an issue, could he control? It was kind of like all over the place. And it seems as though once you get out of Pittsburgh, you do great.
Yeah, apparently what it looks like is back then Pittsburgh really didn't understand, pitching from the new age stance of it, and everybody who leaves there seems to just get instantly better. So
well, I'll tell you, I don't like Ben Sherrington's over there now, who is my guy in Boston. I think he's fantastic, but that organization in Pittsburgh, I don't think I've ever seen a worse run organization.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, it's an absolutely, it's almost like if you're not in big league camp or spring training and stuff like that, you have to live at the facility. It's like a boot camp. Yeah. And then you do the most ridiculous things during boot. I remember when I got sent down from big league camp, we're doing like army crawls, in the most ridiculous stuff. I'm like, am I playing baseball? Or am I going to Vietnam right now?
And for spring training, don't they put you up basically in the barracks, basically in dorms?
Yeah. So I was fortunate when I was there. I was in big league camp, so I was able to live wherever I wanted. But everyone else lives at, I feel what they call it. It's like
it's like a couple miles away from the actual stadium and stuff. I remember.
Yeah, actually, so the big league stadium, the big league stadium, the big league facility is somewhere else. And the minor league facility is somewhere is, and I forget what they call it, but it's an absolute crapshoot.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was, because my agent was Scott Boras, and they always talked about Pittsburgh as being everyone's drinking the Kool-Aid over there. It's the most, everyone does the Pirate Way. And I remember Scott would fight with them about the Pirate Way is last place in the NL Central.
You guys haven't been successful in forever.
Yeah, don't follow the Pirate Way. It's stupid. But I won't get on a rant. I'll talk more about Pittsburgh someday. But it seems as though and they gave up Austin Meadows And Tyler Glass now.
And even the Shane Baz kid, who's a top 100 prospect right now.
And you get Chris Archer in return. What,
Yeah.
Do you guys think you were making a push? Did you need a starting pitcher? Like, what are you doing?
I think that was a classic scenario of like the Pirates were kind of in it for no apparent reason halfway through the season. Like basically, I mean, almost as if like the 60-game season was happening. They saw that they were like decently competitive. Like, oh, we can make a push. And they just traded way too much for Chris Archer.
Entirely too much. But that organization has been in disarray for a long time. And but again, I think Ben Sherrington can right the ship over there. He's good, and he's a build the farm guy. Yeah. So that's right up whatever that owner's guy's name is. That's right up their alley. Let's build the farm and try to win slowly. They're not trying to win quickly by buying people.
No.
All right, but let's dive in. Let's talk a little bit. We had the discussions before on baseball etiquette, and obviously it's in everyone's thoughts right now with is it Fernando Tatis?
Yeah, Fernando Tatis.
Fernando Tatis. 3-0 swinging. Home grand slam in a 7-run ball game, which it's a big lead, but not insurmountable.
Yes.
I'm curious your thoughts on this swing.
So I love it. I love it. I'm a big fan of absolutely bury a team. I don't care what the score is. It's not Little League baseball anymore, where sportsmanship kind of does matter. And even then, I do have a Little League story, which is why it doesn't matter. But I'll tell you that right now. We were, I don't know, like sixth or seventh grade, and the team that I was on was up by about 14 runs going into the last inning.
Okay.
And it should have been a mercy.
It should have been.
It should have been. The umpires did not know the rules. And
it's a 10-run mercy rule, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a 10-run mercy rule. And we were up 14, and the umpires didn't know the rule, and we lost.
We lost.
We lost. It got so bad that we didn't know who to pitch, and we put me in, and I can't pitch. I was good at other stuff. Pitching, I could not figure out.
What position did you play?
I was a catcher.
You're a catcher. Okay.
Catcher.
Who caught when you hit the pitch?
Well, that's the thing is we also didn't really have much of a catcher either. So I was throwing terribly, and there was nobody behind the plate to really stop my bad throws.
Okay.
So we ended up losing that game, and from that point on, it was like, there's no lead that you can't come back from. Baseball's such a weird sport where it just snowballs, and all of a sudden bad things start happening. So I love that Fernando Tatis was swinging. First of all, it's the major leagues. You don't want him to swing 3-0 down 7. Don't get down 7 and throw 3-0 pitches. I mean, be a better team. It's so ridiculous to hear adult men complaining about you beating them too much because you're an adult now. You're not a kid. It's not unsportsmanlike. It's your job. Mm-hmm. Do better at your job, and I love it. That Padres team has such good vibes. I love it.
Yeah. So now I have been, and you know this, Mark, I have been an old school guy from I always enjoyed I like throwing at guys when they don't respect me on the mound. I like those things. I tweeted out that I didn't like Fernando swinging 3-0 for a grand slam there, but in the tweet I say at the end, I don't really know why I don't like it. It's almost like a rule that I'm I feel like I'm supposed to not like this, but it doesn't feel dirty to me. Like you touched on, baseball is an interesting, Phil Hughes tweeted out that people don't get upset when football players run out the clock and stuff like that. Here's the problem. There is no time in baseball. And that was when, we always talk about that quote, and people talk about baseball is such a great game because you have to give that man a chance to win. There is no time, no timetable here. And so, 7 runs is not insurmountable. Just by your Little League story, 14 runs apparently is insurmountable. So originally I saw it, I was like, I don't know. It's definitely not a throw at offense. You shouldn't be throwing at anyone because of this. Because if I'm the pitcher, I completely understand that, damn it, man. Why'd you swing? Yeah. For the same token, I put myself 3-0. I can't get upset at that. 3-0 is fair game in that position, in my opinion, as well. And again, I'm a guy that has been critical of Tim Anderson for, pimping home runs in May and things like that. But I can't get on board with being upset about this home run. You're down 7. You still can come back. You're a Major League Baseball team. Yeah. And, you went 3-0 to a guy, you gave up, and it wasn't it wasn't like it was right down the middle.
No,
this was low and away. Maybe
he went and got it.
He went and got it and went the opposite field. That's a great piece of hitting.
Yeah.
So I think I'm with you, and I haven't always been agreeing with you with this stuff. I'm a little bit more of an old school guy.
Yeah.
But in this scenario, you can't get mad at this.
Yeah, I don't know, like, especially, I mean, we saw yesterday, the Phillies were up 7 runs early in the game. It was 7-0, I think, after the first. And then, like, they played 7 innings because of doubleheader, but it was like bottom 6. The Blue Jays scored, I think, 7 runs then, took the 9-7 lead. I mean, it happens literally like 3 days later after we're talking about this. Or even you want to go, unfortunately, to the Mets to bring this up. In the last 12 months, we've seen them blow a 7 and 6 run lead late in the game. Yeah. Like, these leads are not insurmountable. And it's the whole – there was a really good quote by Ron Darling. He was on MLB Central talking about it. And he goes, if you asked me 30 years ago, I would have said, no way, you're not swinging. That's ridiculous. He goes, but now, like, baseball is a game that is struggling with action. People do find it boring. We shouldn't be limiting people from making the game more exciting. And by having guys, basically hold back their type of skill or doing their thing when you're up a certain amount of runs because of sportsmanship, because you don't want to get your feelings hurt because you stink. He goes, that's a bad look. Just be better. That's what we need, is guys being exciting and making stuff happen. And Tatis does that.
Yes, no question about that. I will say, though, from a rating standpoint, there is a hole in Ron Darling's argument in the sense that from a rating standpoint, I always tune in if I hear there's a brawl going on.
That's true. Oh, brawls are amazing. You got to love a brawl in baseball.
Brawls are great for ratings.
It's so funny because it's so not a physical sport, but like there is nothing better than a baseball brawl. There's nothing.
The one thing I will say, and it frustrates me sometimes when I hear on Twitter, and this is getting me, I tweeted it out, obviously, but I'll say it on the show as well. The thing that frustrates me a little bit sometimes is when I hear guys in our generation and people that are older than us talk about how, this is why everyone hates baseball and all this stuff. And I was like, guys, keep in mind here, you guys were kids watching this exact brand of baseball back in the day, and you love it, and you consume your entire Twitter time on baseball. Yep. So you do enjoy the game. Okay, making adjustments, that's fine. But the whole reason, maybe we're lacking with the younger generation at times is not just because we don't let, guys don't let pimped home runs happen. Because those kids are probably tuning in when we throw up people too.
Yeah.
So I think there's it frustrates me a little bit when people realize, guys, you grew up with this and you enjoy it. Yeah. Stop shitting on it all the time. But it's interesting. I am in agreement. So I think we both agree that Fernando should be doing that. And he's one of the most electrifying players in baseball right now. Like, we want to let him ride.
He's been incredible. Like, I think we all knew he was going to be good. I mean, I even got the jersey of him up there. Wrong side, up there. But, he's just, like, such a fun player to watch because he is almost like the guy that you think of when you go to the, like, workouts when you're, like, getting recruited by colleges and even, like, area code stuff. Like, he's just super fast, takes absolutely massive hacks to the plate and crushes the ball. And he swings and misses, but no one cares because he hits massive home runs and runs as fast as anybody else in Major League Baseball. Like, he is like the prototypical most exciting player that you can create.
Yeah, 5-tool player, as they say, right? Yep. Yeah, I mean, it is. He's fantastic to watch. And I like the way he plays the game. And I think he is not a disrespectful guy in any capacity. So I don't think, and there has been like instances over and over, like Tim Anderson, who I've heard is a great person from you.
Yeah.
He's had instances, it's not just, I had instances with him in 2016. Yeah. So, this has been a thing with him. That's the way he plays the game. We digress there from the Tatis Jr. thing, although a really interesting debate on Twitter. I thought it was, I started at one point, I ended in a completely different part. But it was good. It was good. I've watched the home run now about 53,000 times. So it was fun. But the more trending topic we can talk about, because Tatis was a few days ago, but the more trending topic is our good friend Trevor Bauer's cleat choice.
All right, guys, game day. Using my cleats for today.
As you can see, it says, free Joe Kelly, and I think it's a picture of him doing the frown face.
Yeah.
I mean, tremendous cleats.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. So, like, I'm in a weird stance with this because I think, like, literally, like, a few hours earlier, Trevor Bauer tweeted about not throwing at guys' heads and then put out the cleats. So, like, in that scenario, I'm like, Trevor, like, maybe a little more thought goes into it. It did feel like a little bit of pandering, but, like, I also still love it because at this point, the Astros are the worst. Rob Manfred screwed it up. So I'm all about embarrassing Rob Manfred at this point with this kind of stuff. And that's definitely what he was trying to do. I loved it. It was great.
Yeah. I mean, I don't always agree with Trevor. Me, a lot of times I feel like Trevor sometimes just like does things just to get some notoriety.
100%.
He's really good this year. Like, it's unbelievable.
He's been so nasty.
He's unbelievable what he's doing. And I don't know the guy at all. I'm just assuming. Sometimes it feels like he's trying to get notoriety, but he might not be. He might be a great guy. But I mean, I love the Cleats. I love going after MLB's rules because they are so hypocritical with those rules. It's unbelievable, and showing that he said that, political and offensive. Just because it's offensive to you, Rob, doesn't mean like this. This should be allowed. These Cleats should be allowed. They 1,000% should be allowed. So I think it was a bit much, and I love they just absolutely called Rob Manfred out immediately on social media.
Yep, he doesn't hold back, and that's what you gotta love about Trevor Bauer is like you may not agree with him, but you gotta respect that he does just say what he thinks.
Yes. And he's 100% Trevor Bauer at all times.
Yes,
and he's an absolute. I mean, he's been good in the past, but he's an absolute stud this year.
Yeah, he's shoving this year. He's on a warpath, I would say, of like. I'm gonna, especially like in a contract year, like he's about to get paid by whoever signs him.
Yes, he's a good pitcher. I mean, he's been good when he was at UCLA. Think about him and Garrett Cole on a college team, the same college team there.
Gamecocks though, we stopped him,
but I mean, he's been good for a long time.
Yeah.
And now, we had that incident. Was it last year or 2 years ago?
It was actually like, I think it was like a year ago yesterday. Not even kidding. Like
really?
Like a year ago, like maybe a few days ago.
And you're talking about the throwing over the center field wall. Yeah,
throwing over the center field wall.
Which is amazing because I didn't even say what incident I was talking about.
Yeah.
And you knew immediately. They threw over the center field wall. I can't believe he did that with Tito as his manager.
Yeah, I think I even tweeted out like when that happened. I said, so that's the last game we're seeing him pitch as a Cleveland Indian.
Yeah,
I think it ended up being the last game.
I think it did too. There's no way Tito would allow that on the team. No. And again, with the way Trevor is, on social and stuff like that, he doesn't seem like he would mesh well with a Tito anyway. Tito's definitely an old school guy. He doesn't seem like he probably meshed well with him to begin with, and that might have been probably was the final straw. Just launching a ball. That was in Kansas City, wasn't it?
Yeah, Kansas City. I feel like the thing that gets like not talked about enough with that throw too is like he launched that ball. That's quite the throw to begin with. Like from the mound, drilled the center field wall, and that thing was still going. Like he was throwing that ball 400 feet. That's impressive. Yeah, no,
he got a hold. I remember. I don't know if he still does this, but I remember in college, his big thing that everyone used to talk about was his warm up. His first couple throws were like crow hop, long toss throws at the catcher.
Yeah.
And does he still do that in the big leagues? Do you know?
I don't know if he does as extreme anymore, but I have seen videos of him like basically being like on the right field foul pole thrown to the left field foul pole, which is still pretty impressive. So
that's very impressive.
Yeah.
So he's always been kind of out of the box guy. He's had his issues, with a lot of stuff. I think wasn't he originally in Arizona?
He was with the Diamondbacks, first.
And I remember hearing that Arizona did not get along with what he was doing.
No,
which was stupid because if you remember when he got drafted, he made it very clear that this is the guy I am. This is what I'm going to do. Don't draft me if you're not okay with it.
Correct.
And the Diamondbacks did, and they weren't okay with it. And it was like, what did you guys do?
What were you thinking? Like, he told you. It's on you now.
He literally told you that he wasn't going to do what you said. And you draft. I mean, I completely get if you drafted them, didn't try to change him, but didn't like what he was doing. It was like, I'm going to use him because he's a great trade piece.
Yeah.
But don't get in arguments with him. You're not going to win. You're definitely not going to win with Trevor Bauer.
No, he's got he's a really smart guy too. So like all the stuff that he does for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's whether or not you think he's right, that's up to you. But he's going to have an answer for you. Like it's hard to argue with the guy.
Yeah. You don't want to go in a debate with Trevor Bauer and be unprepared.
Yes, no.
Because again, you might not agree with him, and he doesn't care if you agree with him.
No.
But you better be prepared to have a reason to back up your own stance. And I think Trevor might even be the type of guy that could end up coming onto your side if you had enough facts for yourself.
Yeah, I think so.
So I think he does seem like he'd be a pretty reasonable person. So I mean, anyway, but I would be remiss if we didn't end this show, Mark, talking about, as we always do, your Mets World Series prediction. I've already backtracked off my Red Sox prediction. I'm good. Although we're winning two games in a row.
Those Red Sox are hot.
Red Sox are hot. Don't let them get hot, as Carrabba would say.
Yeah.
And Evaldi pitched unbelievable last night. Just absolutely shoved. But it was against the Orioles, who we've had trouble with this year.
They're hot.
They were. So your Mets aren't playing, for a couple of days at least.
No.
So we have that going for yourself. But you could, we now also we should mention that Miami is no longer in first place in the NL East.
Thanks to the Mets. Duh.
Thanks to the Mets, of course. A 9-9 team. Atlanta's up 2.5 games in you guys.
Yeah.
You're not out of it.
We're not. I think we're technically in the playoffs right now.
Are both teams coming from the – because you're third in the NL East.
We're third in the NL East?
San Diego's taking one of those wild card spots. You guys – no, you wouldn't even take the second. It would be San Diego and Colorado.
Okay, I thought Miami's technically still second. Yeah. I thought technically we were second.
No, so San Diego's 15-12 and Colorado's 13-12. So and the Mets are 12-14. So you guys got
not yet.
Yeah, but you're close.
We are close.
Which is the way the season started and splitting with the Red Sox. I thought, okay, they might be in the doldrums of the NL East.
It's a roller coaster, man.
You guys are hanging on, winning 3. I mean, it's impressive.
It's super frustrating to watch. Like I had a little bit of a meltdown the other day on Twitter. Like the Mets even won, and I still had a meltdown because it's just like everything we do. I tweeted, I'm like, they're making baseball not fun for me right now, and that's the worst part because like I can't just watch this game and just enjoy it. There's always something that, oh, why do we do this? Or, oh my God, like we can't have a smooth 8th inning. So something along the lines is always going to set me off. And I just I had enough of it. I think when Diaz came in, I walked out of the room and I just sat outside. I'm like, my roommate can tell me what happens from here on out. I can't watch this anymore. He ended up walking in the guy, strike out. Conforto hit the homer. I didn't even see Conforto hit the homer. I heard it. And then the 9th inning, Diaz shoved. I didn't watch it. I won't watch him the rest of the season. If that's what it takes, I'm happy to be wrong about the guy. But if that means he comes out and pitches well every single game, I will do that for us Mets fans.
I mean, listen, you're a team player. We all know that. We all know you're a team player. Also, I would also be remiss to not tell Miranda to please bring up the meltdown so everyone can see that. Because that is always a giraffe neck Mark meltdown is always a fun one.
I think I deleted a few of the tweets. So.
Okay. Well, we'll try to find them anyway. And I also want to talk about quickly. So obviously you're not backing on the Mets prediction.
No, of course
why
not.
would you at this point? You're stuck through it already. We're almost in September.
August 18th or 20th, whatever it is.
Do you remember talking about the Los Angeles Dodgers and their run differential? It was like plus 40 at the time. It was outrageous. Everyone always was even close to them.
Yeah.
Do you know what their run differential is now?
I'm scared to say it's better.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, what are we at? Like plus 60?
Plus 66.
Oh, my goodness.
They have now officially, obviously, taken over the NL West.
Yeah.
4 games up. No one thought Colorado would hold on to that.
No.
And San Diego, but both teams are good, but they're not the Dodgers.
No, Dodgers are different.
The second best run differential in baseball right now is, which we would assume was the Minnesota Twins at 39. So the Dodgers are almost doubling the next team in run differential.
That's nuts. And the Twins have the luxury of playing what's supposed to be one of the easier schedules this year. When you're in the Central, especially when you play the Royals and Tigers all that much.
Oh yeah. The Tigers have a negative 34 run differential.
Oh my God.
But hold on, the Red Sox are negative 43. So.
Oh, okay, there they are.
That is so embarrassing.
Yeah, Red Sox. I mean, hey, listen, you guys won 2 games. So that's good.
We won 2 games. Exciting times here as a Red Sox fan.
But, man, it is rough. I mean, it just seems like there's something every day with them.
I think it's a weird year, and they are kind of doing things, I think, kind of backwards in my view. Mm-hmm. You trade – you might give me a meltdown on this.
Yeah.
So the thing that gets me so frustrated about the Red Sox team and what they're doing is that they're not a bad offensive team.
Yeah.
They have pieces in that lineup. You got Xander Bogaerts, you got Rafael Devers, you got Mitch Moreland. You got pieces. Yeah. Vasquez is hitting the ball okay. You have pieces to make a good team. And I understand. And listen, what are we have a shit team next year too, and Chris Sale comes back? What did Chris Sale sign up for?
Yeah.
And that guy's not quiet. He's going to be jawing off to front office if he's not getting some guys around him.
Oh, 100%.
So, next year we get Chris Sale, Nathan Eovaldi, and that lineup. Hopefully we go get a Trevor Bauer.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get a team that can put something together, because it looks like we're going to lose Workman at the deadline. It's very frustrating to lose that guy, because he's as good of a closer as you get in baseball right now. Or maybe not right now, but last year he was amazing.
He was nasty, yeah.
So it's just frustrating because it's not like I'm watching a team that should be this bad. And I hope there's an end in sight next year. I get hopeful with the team coming back. I hope that he puts some pieces around Chris Sale, but the way he's treated this year, I'm not super optimistic about that.
You think they're going to have like a fire sale and just start selling off guys, or do you think that they're going to maybe try to be optimistic for 2021?
You just signed Chris Sale to a big deal. You got Nathan Eovaldi there. Devers is young. Xander, is still somewhat.
Because the interesting thing that I'm seeing is that, like, I think you could, in theory, move JD, but I think he might have some teams that he can say no to. Jackie Bradley, I think, has an expiring contract, right? So you would try to move him, I would assume, this year.
Yeah.
For bullpen arms that you said. The interesting one's Xander, because he's got such a good contract and he is such a good player where, in theory, you could trade him and get a ton back, but that then means you are tearing it all down.
All down.
Yeah.
Completely down. Because and September 6th, I think it is he's got a no trade clause kick in.
Yeah.
You can't trade him after September 6th. So, he does have it's a Boris guy.
Yeah.
But I am currently optimistic about what 2021 holds for Boston.
Yeah.
It's a city that does not take kindly to a complete and total rebuild.
Yeah.
They don't take kindly to that. I hope they don't, want to do that. Although Bloom is the typical build the farm guy, which I hope they do. I hope they, get some good picks this year. Let's get the farm system going again. You need a good farm system to win a World Series. Mm-hmm. But by the same token, I think there's too many pieces in the big leagues right now that are controlled pieces right now that would lead me to believe that they're going to make something happen in the offseason and go for something. Especially the luxury tax resetting. We don't have a big contract in Mookie. You probably can go sign two good pitchers for Mookie's money.
Yep.
Instead of just having Mookie. So I'm hopeful that they're going to make a move, but time will tell, I guess, right?
The Red Sox have a lot of very much like the 2017 Mets where they were like, well, we got some pieces, we got DeGrom, we got Syndergaard, but do we trade them now? And do we just start it all over again? It's very reminiscent of that.
Yeah, it is. And the Mets fan base is actually probably more they're more willing to ride the low years to get to a big year than the Red Sox fans. Red Sox fans will have your head pretty quickly. But Mets fans are like true baseball people in the sense that they understand that they have to go through that. And also the Mets have kind of, the Wilpons have kind of breeded them that way because they had never been that team that went and spent an enormous amount of money all the time.
They did once. 2006, and what do you know? They almost made the World Series.
What do you know? They had good players on their team. Yeah. But the Red Sox have notoriously spent a crap ton. Yeah. And as well the Yankees, as well as the Dodgers, like those are known for that. So now you've bred a bunch of Red Sox fans that are completely unacceptable if you go and rebuild everything completely.
Yeah.
We'll see. I guess time will tell. We'll see in the offseason because this year's not going to be anything,
Unfortunately, no.
So maybe I'll be a Mets fan for the year.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I can. But I always like the Mets.
Well, listen, we're always welcoming. That's one thing I say is like Mets fans, we're welcoming. You want to be miserable? Come join us.
Yeah, maybe I'll be a Mets fan this year because I can't trade to the Yankees. That's obviously a no-go. Yeah. Maybe I'll be a Mets fan. That sounds like fun. Maybe I'll be a Dodger fan. That sounds like more fun.
Dodgers, yeah. Go pick a team that's just gonna win. For sure.
I'll be a fan of a World Series team this year.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, anyway, guys, that's it for us on here. I don't know what episode we're in now, but
I don't know either.
We're in it. We're into it. Go follow, obviously, Draft Nick Mark on YouTube, Twitter, all the good places. Obviously, do the same thing with me. Subscribe to the show. And until next time, guys, I'll see you later.